All right, this is James Pelton, and I am here with Crypto Sensei, and appreciate him taking some time out of his day to hop on and chat with us. As we're waiting for people to kind of hop on, as always, I need you to hit the like button because the YouTube algorithm looks for the ratio of views to likes on a video, and they use that to determine what videos are good. And so I need your help to trick the YouTube algorithm into showing this to more people. So if you're watching and you don't hit like, you actually hurt the algorithm. Do you believe that? So please hit the like button. And then please comment. First off, comment where you're watching from. And second, I want you to comment what your favorite project has been through the bear market so far. And then third, I'd like you to think of a question that you have for Crypto Sensei. So I should be getting 3 comments out of people as we kind of get started here. So Crypto Sensei, appreciate you joining me here today. Would you mind starting out by just kind of, for those who don't know you, introducing yourself and give a little bit of your background?
Yeah, so I go by Crypto Sensei. My real name's Robert Doyle in real life. I've been in crypto a little over 3.5 years. I got introduced to XRP back when my dad told me to check out this crazy thing called XRP. He's the one who got me into crypto, believe it or not. And went on YouTube. I was like, "What's XRP?" Looked it up, and I was immediately hooked. And I knew that some of this technology was going to be used to kind of transform the planet, and I wanted to get as much information as I possibly could. So I probably didn't leave my house for a good 2-3 months when I first kind of got introduced to crypto. It kind of sucked me down the dark hole of deep dives. And I just wanted to get educated on everything I could, right? This is this new ecosystem being built out. I really felt like this was a once in a lifetime opportunity to get educated and to understand how to make money in this new world. And I really wanted to teach people, what I was learning and what got me very excited about it. And so I ended up starting to teach people one at a time. And if you've ever sat down with a friend or family member to teach them crypto, you're sitting there for quite some time explaining how to open up an account, maybe to buy something, what's a MetaMask. It gets very time consuming. And so I really wanted to build a community where people could come, work together, speak to each other, share alpha information, bring projects in, and really just build that all out. And so for the last, 15, 16 months, we built out a community on Discord. And we've been pretty successful. We had, I think at the peak in the bull run, we had about 2,500 members. It's gone down a little bit since then, since the Luna situation, because a lot of people, lost a lot of money on that. And so, Kryptonairz. And so, we built a very strong community, but what we needed was a strong security team. So in December, when the whole ring and samurai stuff happened, I felt there was a need to have people on staff that could read smart contracts, people on staff that could do some deep diving as far as intelligence on who's behind a project, their wallets, deep diving into the DNS where the project is registered. I mean, you name it, we look into it. And I think over the past, 2-3 months, we've had over 110 projects come to our door, and we've only really let 18 of those projects into the community. We would find bad code, malicious code, backdoors, code that was written by someone who definitely doesn't understand a smart contract. There's just so many, this is a new space, right? And people are trying to make money and people are trying to innovate, but yet, there's a lot of just people that are really here for just themselves and not really here to build something long lasting. So, we do a very good job about putting all of these projects through a very strict process before we actually bring them in. And, the team's about 25, 26 people right now. We do a research phase, a soft audit phase where we go through the smart contract. We run it through like an algorithm that we kind of put together. So we're checking smart contracts. We're doing a security check. It's just a lot of due diligence before we let somebody in and talk with our people. And it's been working out really well. We've managed to keep a lot of our members safe, especially kind of in this current market. And just kind of that's how I got started and why I built what we built. And I didn't call myself the sensei. I was teaching people and the name kind of just came. Someone said, "Hey, you're like a sensei, you're a teacher, crypto teacher." I'll take that, because every week I try to bring something new and exciting into the community and, teach them on ISO, teach them, on different ways they can make money through passive income, how I'm making money. I know that was a lot at once, but it's such a great and fun community to have people every day just working together, in cohesion and just to, have fun and make money and find plays, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. What I found most helpful about Kryptonairz is obviously I can do a lot of AMAs with projects. And so like that part is not, what I get out of it. But what I'm not able to do is even with I'm a software engineer by trade, but I don't have the resources to go dig through the code of as many projects as you guys go through. There's just no way that I could do that. So for me, paying $50-100 a month or whatever it is well worth it for someone to go dig through the code of these projects and say, hey, we looked through the code, it's good. So to me, that's been an invaluable part of what you guys do, and something that I could just never do even with my AMAs and all that. I can offer that part, but there's no way that I could do the deep dive like you guys do. So I found that super helpful.
Thanks, James. It does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely it does. So maybe we'll start with, you mentioned it, so I'm going to leave that as that's avenue to dive into it. What's your thoughts on XRP? We'll just start with that one. What are your thoughts on XRP? Do you think it's worth buying now? Should people be dollar cost averaging in? Not financial advice, but just what are your thoughts on it?
So I'm glad I didn't even know you're going to bring up XRP, but I'm so glad you did. James, do you know what the DTCC is?
I do not, but Sensei, I would love to learn from you.
All right, this is something out of my Sensei chat for today that I'm teaching the community. So check this out. With over 45 years of experience, the DTCC is a premier post-trade market infrastructure of the global finance services industry. From 21 locations around the world, the DTCC, through its subsidiaries, automates, centralizes, and standardizing the process of financial transactions, mitigating risk, increasing transparency, and driving efficiency for thousands of broker-dealers, custodian banks, and asset managers around the world. Industry-owned, governed, and the firm simplifies complexities of clearing, settlement, asset servicing, data management, data reporting, information services across an asset class. Basically, what the DTCC is, last year they processed $2.4 quadrillion through it, and they're responsible for about $87 trillion in assets. The reason this is important, James, is over the past 6 years, the DTCC has been moving to basically use DLT crypto technology to move all that money. Right now, when you're settling stocks or anything like that, it takes 2 or 3 days for those things to get through processed. With crypto, they can do it instantly, and so they have something called Project Ion, which they had the last 6 months. They've done a sandbox on crypto trading, settling things with crypto. And actually, if you dig deep inside the DTCC wormhole, you'll find that there's some connections to Ripple and XRP. One of those connections is a gentleman named Donald Donahue. He was the former CEO of the DTCC, and now he's an advisor at Ripple, where he's been the last several years. So I've gone down this rabbit hole, and they are using some type of cryptocurrency to go ahead and test and settle some of these transactions. And so people are like, how does XRP going from 40 cents to $500 or $1,000, right? Because you always see these things on YouTube, XRP is going to this, XRP is going to that. This is one of the reasons, or one of the ways that it can go to that, right? Because if they ended up settling all of this money from the DTCC, right, quadrillion dollars, just $1 quadrillion, $1,000 trillion, what would the price of XRP need to be to settle that stuff, right? And so you're talking trillions and trillions of dollars a day being settled. And so, they're going to choose either a cryptocurrency like XRP, or they're going to design something like it to use. But I found several connections with XRP and the DTCC, and I do think we're going to get down the line here where they're going to use something like XRP, if not XRP, to settle all these transactions. So,
okay. So are you holding a big XRP bag? Are you dollar cost averaging in, or how are you increasing your position? What are your thoughts on that?
So quick story here. I decided to take a vacation right when the Luna crash happened. I was on a cruise in the middle of the ocean when the market crashed. I didn't have internet until the next day or 2 days after. So I pulled into the port. I looked at my portfolio and noticed a huge discrepancy on where things used to be and where things are now. If I was on land and I was able to access things at the time, I probably would have sold at a higher price, bought lower. But I'm holding on to about 400,000 XRP. That is my life bag. I'm not touching that for anything. There's too many good connections. Ripple has too many connections with banks, R3, Corda, you name it. And so I do think XRP is one of those assets that's just going to explode one day when they really decide to turn on this new, payment rails, as crypto. And so right now, I'm not touching my XRP bag. I would have sold and bought back at a lower price, but it's never a bad idea to go down the XRP rabbit hole and the Ripple rabbit hole. There's so much there. And I think that is one of those assets you need to have in your portfolio.
And two questions that just came to mind as you were talking about that. So when you have a life bag, we'll call that, I have those as well. How often do you mess with that? Like sell lower, sell higher to buy lower, or those types of things?
So
how often do you do that, or do you just sit on it?
So my XRP bag is I have it on Nexo, so I'm getting about 25, 30 free XRP a day just leaving it on there. So that's kind of like they have staking on there, and so it's a small percentage, but it's free XRP. I also have my XLM on there, and so there's XRP, XLM, and DAG, which I won't sell, right? I'm just adding more of. Those are probably the three strongest assets I think I hold, besides like Quant and a few other blue chips. XDC is one of those. Any type of ISO token, IOTA is a big one. XLM, XRP, XDC, Quant, and then I think DAG is going to be ISO compliant. The Constellation company will be ISO compliant. So any of those are a very good hold for long term, I think. Those are the ones that are going to be used for the new financial system. That starts in November of this year, 2022, and goes to November of 2025, where all of these banks and financial institutions are now going to be on these new ISO standards. ISO is just dictionary standards that these payment companies will use. And I'm actually going to show my community what an ISO transaction looks like later on today. And through this kind of education series I do, I talk to them once a week and I educate them on something in the market. And so it's just been really interesting to do a deep dive, but those are the main assets that I probably will hold and not sell no matter what happens, because I do think they're going to be worth, 50x, 100x, maybe even 1,000x, 5 to 10 years down the road.
Okay, and then actually you bringing up Nexo, just I thought this was funny. I don't know if anyone else. So I use Nexo, but then I borrow against my assets. And so since the market's been down, I've just been getting these texts every 3 or 4 hours just saying, hey, you need to add more. Your assets are going down. I've been getting, ever since the bear market started, the crash, I've just been getting these texts from Nexo every like 4 hours saying, please add more, because I have too much borrowed on Nexo with the asset price where it is. So I just think it's funny. I just ignore them now.
I won't take loans out on my crypto. I mean, the Luna situation was hard for a lot of people. And when I got back from my trip, I'd actually spoken on Twitter to a lot of people that lost a lot. I spoke to a guy that lost $3 million. I spoke to a person that lost, all of their net worth. He put all his wife's money into this thing, lost it all. And, those people are dealing with a lot. And my heart goes out to those people. And it's really hard, man. And so, I make it a thing to not do loans on crypto because the market is very volatile still. We did get a crypto bill introduced to the Senate this week. I'm very excited about that. It's the first major step. We're still very far away from actually getting the rules of the road, but we're getting closer, I think. But yeah, I don't recommend it. But if you have to, just be very careful.
Yeah, no, I don't recommend it either. But do as I say, not as I do. But the problem with the problem with it is when the market does crash, then you're forced to. For those who don't know, you're liquidated at the low price, and that's actually the worst part. is that now all your assets are sold at the very, very bottom. And so it's like, oh, I was going to hold on to my XRP and wait for it to 1000x, but it's like, nope, you're going to sell at the bottom. So yeah, anyways, learn from my mistakes and don't use
that's why you're doing
trading.
this, James. That's why you're sharing, what not to do, what to do. And people respect that about you, So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you don't want your messages, your text messages to look like this, then don't use leverage trading on Nexo, is what I've learned. I got a kick out of this question.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Constellation? And I know you don't have any. You don't like DAG. You don't like Constellation. What are your thoughts on Constellation DAG?
DAG has a special place in my heart. I think it's probably the best tech in crypto between Quant and DAG. State channels are the next evolution of smart contracts. I don't think you're going to see smart contracts in the next 5 to 10 years. I think they'll all go this route of state channels and then whatever's after state channels. When you have the U.S. military using DAG, Constellation Network, to keep vital information safe, and it's good enough for them. And let's be clear, the U.S. military has unlimited funds to go out and test whatever they want. And they chose DAG's Constellation ecosystem to use because it's near feeless. I mean, you have projects like Double Dice, Genico, which is basically going to take your medical information, your biometric, what is it, like 23andMe? You take your, what is it? You spit into a tube and it tells you your genetic history or whatever. You upload that, you upload your medical stuff, and they'll start paying you passive income for your medical records, right? So you can kind of take that back. DAG has such interesting projects on it, right? Greenheart CBD is a really cool one where they're using, they're farming the best CBD on the planet. God, there's so many great projects on DAG that I just think DAG is one of those ecosystems that has yet to explode. It's still at I think under like $200 million or $150 million now. I was buying nodes at 18 cents, 15 cents, and right now it's at even better pricing. So I'm only adding to my DAG bags. I think DAG is one of those projects that is going to make us a lot of money in the next couple of years. Definitely.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And actually, I had heard of DAG from a lot of people, but I had never really looked into it or bought into it. And it was you kept bringing it up over and over and over again when we talked. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll look into it. Yeah. And then as I looked into it, I just, dove into it more and more and more, went more and more down the rabbit hole. And so I had an AMA with Ben from Constellation. And then I told him, I was like, hey, get me in touch with every project on Constellation and I'll bring them all on for an AMA. So I have one coming up with Jam. I've had one with BioFi. I have one with Double Dice coming up, CBD. So that's going to be, a big part of my channel going forward.
They have the best ecosystem, I think. So between XRP and DAG, those are my two top choices. And Crypto Maimu asked, I probably butchered that name, and I'm so sorry. He asked about VaporFi, so we'll get into VaporFi in a second. But to finish on DAG, right now with soft node staking, you're only making like 1,000 DAG every month or whatever. But I do think when they're supposed to launch Q2 of this year, which is this month. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I really hope it does. But when we set up real nodes and we're supporting the network, we should be getting, several thousand DAG per node a month. And I do see DAG going to $1 and $2 and $3 once mainnet launches, right? Because you have all of these projects. I think they have like 80 projects in their incubator, and we're only talking about a few, but they have so much going on there that I think that's going to be one of the best thriving ecosystems. I mean, you look at something like Lattice Exchange, right? When you have layer zero can basically interact with layer 1 and layer 2 tokens. So you're going to be able to use, DAG, the Lattice Exchange to swap, Bitcoin for ETH or whatever you want to swap. You're going to be able to do it, and it's not going to cost you what you're paying on Uniswap, right? I mean, I've paid $100 for a transaction, $200 for a transaction for a failed transaction on Uniswap. I mean, who's going to want to use Uniswap when there's a better, faster, more secure, cheaper version called Lattice Exchange? And so I do see Lattice sooner or later flipping Uniswap's market cap, which is, I think Uniswap's still at like $2 billion market cap. and Lattice is at like 20 million or 18 million. So it's a really good time. I've been loading up on LTX, which is the Lattice exchange. I do think that'll be one of the best exchanges on the planet going forward. And DAG just has so much to offer. And it really, once you get into the technology and you understand it, I mean, it's very difficult, right? Because it's on a very high level. And it took me a lot of time and a lot of due diligence to sit there and start understanding what was going on. But, you know, they do a hypergraph hour every week. Those are great places to, you know, good resource to get educated on what's happening with DAG currently. And it's just one of those ecosystems that I think will do a Solana moment, which is going from, you know, a couple 100 million market cap to multiple billion really quickly.
And then, so one question I have is, as you see these projects that you have bags in go up, how do you go about taking profit on something like that? Like, let's say that we'll say Constellation 10x's. Do you start taking some profit out, or do you, oh no, it'll 100x, or what do you do with that? Do you just hold on to it for 10 years, or how do you think through that?
So I have two bags, right? I have a bag that I won't touch for my future, for kids that I don't have yet, and you know, for you know, who knows what life's going to be like in 5 to 10 years. There's those bags I won't touch, and there's a bag that I trade. And so I've been doing this with BioFi and with Alpha Shares and with a few other projects like Vapor, which we'll get into here soon. So I have a bag that if it's going up 300% in a day, I'm taking profits on that, right? Because I know that's going to come back down and set a new low and then go back up again. So I'm kind of day trading some stuff, and I'm holding on to some stuff. And so I won't touch the bags that I'm holding for the future. Those, like, I could live out of my car for the next 2 years and not touch those bags if I needed to. Not saying that life's going there, but you know, that's how serious I am about what I'm holding and what I think the future is like for these projects. It's only a matter of time before you get global adoption, mass adoption, billions of people using crypto. And that's in the next, you know, 3 years, 5 years, you'll have, you know, 1 billion, 2 billion people using crypto. You know, all these central bank digital currencies, people are going to be using those to buy and sell goods. It's only a matter of time with crypto, man. And you know that, I know that, and a lot of people do.
Yeah, and we're seeing crazy stuff like Fidelity, I heard, is working on their own crypto exchange. Like, we're definitely going the direction of cryptocurrency. And so, yeah, it's just a matter of, what's going to be the big, you know, 1000x's that we see. And I do want to bring in some audience questions. So we talked about DAG. Let's talk about Vapor nodes. Yeah, let's talk about that one. You want to talk about Vapor nodes?
Let's do it. So I am a huge holder in Vapor. I was a firm believer in the project before it launched. I was actually talking with the team and working with the team before it launched. So I knew who they were, what they were trying to do, what they were trying to build. And so the whole community got in on the Vapor launch at 0.001. Vapor had a high of about 14 cents, which is a 1400x from the original launch price. Vapor DEX, they've sent the contracts over to Certic to be audited. They should have those back here very soon, and they're going to have to make some tweaks. I'm sure there's always something that comes in those first audit reports, but they are very close. I speak with Thomas, who's the CEO of Vapor, almost every day. You know, we're always chatting about different things, and I'm very excited, right? They have a DEX coming, Vapor Chain coming. They have a lot of projects that they want to onboard and work with. A lot of P2E. They're going to really focus on P2E games and different things like that. But very, very bullish on Vapor. I did say this like maybe six to 8 weeks ago that the new season will be NFT marketplaces and DEXs, and we're seeing that, right? We're seeing a lot of decentralized exchanges. XOFi is one of them that's going to kind of go after PancakeSwap. They're going to offer projects a lot more options to be able to do different things with liquidity, different things with vesting, cliffs, all kinds of stuff. So I see Vapor kind of going after the AVAX groups of projects, and I see XOFi going after the Binance side of projects. And I do think these DEXs can be very successful. You have Alpha Shares, who's also building a similar type of thing with their NFT marketplace, a DEX, and an auto compounder. And yeah, alpha shares. Yeah, I'm very bullish on alpha shares. But we'll get into that in a second. But right now, what I'm doing with my vapor, I'm holding on to it. I'm not compounding. I'm not selling at this price, because I do think once they get this up and it launches over the next couple of weeks, or maybe it takes 4 to 6 more weeks, whatever it is, I know that the price is going to go back to 1 or 2 cents, right? They really want to bring in about $250 million in liquidity into their ecosystem. What that does for vapor and how that actually works is still yet to be seen. But I'm a firm believer. These guys, know what they're doing. They're working on some type of secret project. I've been trying to find out what that is. They've been holding that one very tight to the chest. But that's one of the projects that has made it through, has innovated, right? Has gone beyond nodes, and they're really trying to reach right now. So I'm a very big fan of vapor, and I think we'll see what happens here over the next couple of weeks as far as they get their DEX and chain up.
Okay, and I have a question. So a lot of projects we find during the bear market, especially, there's a lot of projects that were like, okay, these aren't worth a lot right now. They're not making money right now, but they will be eventually. So what do you do? Do you have projects that you feel like right now are making, short-term money? Well, during the bull market, we had so many projects. Me and you would talk every day about, oh, this is making money. This is making money. This is making money. Do you have projects right now that are making you money, or is kind of everything on hold and just, hey, let's push off? How do you live during times like this? And what are your thoughts?
So when you go from making several $100,000 a month down to making a whole lot less, yeah. So right now, what I'm doing is, I'm taking anywhere from 20 to 50K, and I'm looking, I'm training it on alpha information, right? Information that I'm going out and grinding my sources and people that I know, getting information before it's announced to the public, right? That's what I'm working every day to do. And so I share that information I get with my community, because that's what they pay for, is they pay for that alpha. And then, so, my strategy has been going in and trying to make 2 to 3X's, right? We're not in a bull market where you're going to see 100X, or even a 10 to 15X usually. It's much more of a taking smaller bite-sized profits and just adding it to your month. So my goal is to make 50K trading every month just from my smaller bags, and then living off that, buying more crypto, whatever it is. But that's my goal every month, is make anywhere from 50 to 100K by taking my 2-3X's, buying it when it dips, selling it when it pumps. I know there's a ton of alpha information that's being released from BioFi next week. I know they have at least 3 to 4 big announcements coming. One of them will come on Monday. They're working with a top 50 crypto project. I can't say the name because that would be cheating. But that'll be announced on Monday. Their metaverse, their ecosystem is being built out really well right now. We did an interview AMA with them about 2 months ago, before they kind of got a lot of stuff going, and it was very interesting to see what they're building with Doge Run. If you don't know what it is, dogerun.io is their metaverse ethos first they're building. They're going to do a lot of like dog racing on different planets, and you have a spaceship and a base, and it's very interesting what they're building. And so they're going to be using one of these top 50 cryptos technology for randomized racing for their dog racing. And so that'll be announced on Monday. And then they have 2 or 3 other partnerships that they've already signed that they're going to be announcing next week, along with this Doge Run and these dog sale. And so I'd definitely be looking for BioFi to pump here in next week, 2 to 3X. I'm going to be, if it's up to 200-300% in a day, I'm taking profits and then buying back down the dip. So that's my strategy, was what I'm doing right now. It's really doing a lot of kind of day trading, and I share my strategies with my community. I'm very open with my bags and what I'm investing in. And everyone's there to share information. I've been doing a lot of NFT trading. We have a great NFT team. We actually now built out a traditional finance section. We have a person doing TA, traditional finance, stocks, different things. And then we brought in somebody to do TA for crypto, somebody to teach bot trading for crypto. We have classes right now for bot trading. There's just so many different ways you can make money in the bear market, and these are a couple of them that we're bringing to our community.
Yeah, and we have very different. I've learned a lot from you, because I'm more like the DeFi passive income. I love the tomb forks and things like that. But I've learned a ton from Kryptonairz. like I know nothing about TA, and you guys help out a lot with that. I know nothing about NFTs.
Yep.
I'm always listening and just basically I blindly follow a lot of NFT advice that I hear in Kryptonairz because I don't get that world at all. And so it's cool just having experts from so many different fields. Like you said, bot trading. There's just a lot there that are different than the strengths that I have, and so I
Yeah.
appreciate all those kind of filling in the gaps where my knowledge is not there. And but I think NFTs have been the most helpful thing because
Yeah.
again, I just know nothing, and somehow your NFT guys are just able to like
They're very
spot
good.
these. Yeah,
I don't.
I still don't get it. I've tried to understand it. I don't understand it, but
I've stopped asking questions and just buy what they tell me to buy, and I sell when they tell me to sell. And we do have a great NFT team. There's about 4 or 5 solid people that are in all of these kind of secret chat rooms where these, big NFT traders, these big promoters are saying, hey, this is probably the next big project. And then we're taking that information, we're giving it to the community. And we also have some DGen channels, right? Because there's those people that are just, they're not really there for the research, they're there for the degen stuff. And so we called Giza. Giza did a 30x. We called there was one yesterday, micro VO or something, that we called at like $8 and went like 30 or 40. So there's definitely some degen plays getting called in there too, but for the most part, I'm really trying to day trade and kind of just make enough to get through to the next bull cycle where we're going to have a lot more passive income. There's like, if you want to some good kind of stable passive income, there's yield nodes, there's Horde. Horde is a very good, very very solid project right now. So we're actually had a meeting with one of the founders of Horde, and they have some great technology. There's some actual projects reaching out to Horde that want to use their LMS technology, liquidity management software for their projects. And so there's still some very solid projects to get into, but it's definitely not like the bull market where we could just make money by doing this. Yeah, it's we're not in that situation anymore.
the good old days, the good old
Yeah.
days. That's what I call them.
3 months ago, the good old days.
Yes. And Andrew Doyle. Now, is Andrew Doyle any relationship to you?
I don't know Andrew, but Andrew, you have a great last name, fellow Irish person. I love you.
Okay, awesome. Well, he says we need to have you on regularly, and I think maybe that'd be good is to have you on monthly for a update, alpha share,
I'd love to.
etc.,
Oh,
etc.
did we talk about alpha shares?
No, that was. Let me find the comment. Don't
Let's talk.
answer it until I bring the comment up. Where'd it go? Oh,
Yeah.
I lost the comment. But yeah, a lot of people have been asking about alpha shares. You want to talk about alpha shares a little bit?
Oh, I'm so bullish on alpha. All right, so alpha nodes was the original, right? It was a reflections project, and we all know what happens to reflections projects after a certain amount of time, they die out, right? And so alpha nodes noticed that, hey, we don't really have a use case here. All we are is a reflections project. And that's really Ponzi-nomics, right? And so this team is actually out of Arizona. Tyler is the CEO here. Very good guy. He actually came into our community and did a private interview / AMA earlier this week, and we got a ton of information out of him. He was sharing stuff that hasn't been shared yet, in announcements. And we didn't post that video on YouTube because specifically there was too much alpha in that video to share on YouTube. And so they actually are building out, they have 10,000 NFTs. Each NFT will cost 100 billion tokens. Right now, I think that's about $160 per. But what these NFTs are going to do is they're going to give you revenue sharing for their NFT marketplace that they've built. And so they're going to bring projects in, different type of NFT projects. They have a DEX, they have an auto compounder. They have so much stuff going on that they've built. They kept their heads down these last couple of months. They haven't been a big tweeting, or they haven't been promoting a bunch of stuff, but they have been working. And this stuff is quite amazing what they built. We've seen some of it, and it really is. They're going to be able to bring in NFT creators, NFT promoters, all these different things to sell on their platform, cheapest fees. And those shares will pay you 50% of the revenue generated from alpha shares in their NFT marketplace goes back to the NFT holders. So there's two different NFTs you can buy. There's the main, just the 100 billion tokens, right? And that'll give you a share, and they're going to sell 1,000 each week when they launch, right? So if they sold out all of those 1,000 NFTs, that's basically 1/10 of the token supply gone, right? So if they ended up minting every NFT, that'll mint pretty much almost the whole token supply. Some of those tokens from the mint goes back into the rewards pool and then gets sent back out. But what I think is going to happen here is I do think a lot of people are looking for the next passive income play and what that looks like, and being able to have shares or revenue coming in from an actual marketplace where OpenSea is owned by a certain amount of rich people, right? They make about $2.5 million a day from fees and trading fees. This is actually bringing it back to the people, giving us the opportunity to make some of that money ourselves. They're going to have special NFTs that you can buy, but you're going to need to own about 2 trillion tokens. And there's going to have these Genesis NFTs that are going to start at 20 AVAX, 40 AVAX, and 60 AVAX. And those NFTs will actually give you higher rewards paid out. What I do see happening with alpha shares here is I do see people FOMOing in here pretty hard, right? Right now it's at about a $2 million market cap. They had a high of 11 to 12 million before they had a use case. Now they have several use cases. And I think this is one of those projects you need to look out for over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, nope. And I agree on that one. Well, maybe let's talk about some, well, I'll just ask some questions. I think I know the answer to them, but what are your thoughts on Red Light Chain? What do you think about that?
Don't have too many thoughts. I know there's a lot going on there. You know, I think all of these projects are trying to stay relevant. I wish them all luck. I don't know. I haven't been talking too much with the Red Light team recently, but I know they're trying to do everything they can to save their ecosystem. You know, there's going to be a few winners here, right? Because you have Vapor Chain, Red Light Chain. You know, I don't even want to talk about Strong Chain, but you know, you have these chains being built. Doesn't mean it's going to be successful, right? But you do need to pay attention to it. So I wish Red Light the best, and I hope they're successful. I know there's a lot of holders probably in your community and my community. I wish them the best, but I don't have too much alpha on Red Light right now, but I can reach out.
Yeah, no, and that's so I have a video coming out in the next few days where I asked basically all these node projects fell apart, right? And so then some of them did it earlier than others, but everyone's kind of scrambling for, okay, we need a revenue stream. Yes. And they're basically all in the same position. So I went ahead, I reached out to pretty much all the main node projects and just said, hey, give me a quick summation of what you're trying to do to save your project. And so I have a video coming up where I'm going to just go through, you know, Red Light, Strong, Vapor, all of these and say, here's what they're trying to do to save the protocol. Yeah. Some of them are going to work. I would say probably maybe 1 out of 10 is going to actually probably work long term.
Be a small percentage.
Small percentage.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really hard for us to pick the winners. And so you're going to kind of have to just put, hey, here's what everybody's doing to try and figure. Like Thor, for example, has this metaverse game that they created that, hey, this is what's going to be what saves us. And, you know, it's just going to be hard to tell. But
it is
probably 1 out of 10.
Yeah. And so James, you know, I was very open and honest with my community, and I've been very open and honest with them. I tell them that 90% of new projects are going to fail. So if you're going to invest in them, get your money in, get your money out very early, right? Whether that's if you're making nodes, instead of compounding right away, get that initial out right away, then compound, right? Or take some profits, use some to build nodes or passive income, and use some to trade, right? Because we're in such a new space, right? This has never been done before, a lot of this stuff. And we don't know what is going to be successful and what's not going to be successful. But at the end of the day, you need to protect yourself, your assets, your family's assets. And that's getting in and getting out quickly, guys. That's not putting your money in and praying that it's going to 100x, especially in this market right now. You need to protect yourself 100% no matter what. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice, but this is what I've been doing to keep myself safe and my community safe, and it's been working pretty well.
Yep, nope, totally agree with that. And Merck wants to add about alpha shares. We've built out an entire art studio for our launchpad as well. Artists, web design, development, full-blown incubation capabilities.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they changed their name to alpha shares because I don't even include them in the node project. There's something completely different. Yeah.
No, they really, I mean, it's very impressive. They were working with an influencer. I won't say the influencer's name, but he's very familiar with the space, and you know, we speak to him on a daily basis. You know who it is, James. But Alpha Shares is one of those unique teams and projects that they wanted to build something incredible, and I think they've done that. I think they have done that, and their team is very, you know, it's not a gigantic team, but so they're going to be able to give any projects that come to them, these artists or these NFT things, they're going to be able to build their pages for them. They're going to be able to work with them directly and really kind of give that white and glove feel to the projects to help them kind of get in and show their art and their NFTs to the masses. And I really do think they have something special. They have some special sauce going on. They have some hardworking people. Their dev behind it is done a great job about building everything. And it looks good. The NFTs look good. People are going to be buying and reselling those NFTs just on the way that they look. But they really do have something special going on. So if you don't know anything about Alpha Shares, get educated right now today, because once they launch this thing, it's not going to be at a $2 million market cap anymore. I really think that's going to start exploding. And I a 5x is their all-time high at 11 million. I think it does it a minimum 5x. I think this thing could go to 50 million, $100 million market cap pretty quickly. It's all about partnerships and what they bring after they launch. And so it's going to be really good to see that. And we're going to do everything we can to support Alpha Shares and the team there.
Okay, very cool. And then question, I do want to get to all these audience questions. My checkout time is in 20 minutes at my Airbnb, so I can't be here too long. I'll have to have Crypto Sensei back because you guys have a lot of questions for him. Is there a bear market discount code for Kryptonairz? So
yes,
I do want to talk about. Yeah,
I'm glad you asked. So right now with everything going bad and the market kind of tanking, right now we have 30% off for life for people that want to sign up for Super Bowl. So there's Bull and there's Super Bowl. Bull really is for those people that are starting to learn crypto. If you want to trade on that alpha information and you want access to everything, Super Bowl is the package. $70 a month. You get all of the information that I put together. You get the TA, you get NFTs, you get DGen. There's so much there. There's so much value there for $70 a month. Where else do you have a full service research team that keeps you safe? We don't know what's going to happen after that project launches, but you're damn sure that we put these projects through hours and hours of questions. We even look at in the dark web for any kind of bad actors, malicious content. We really go out of our way to keep our members safe, and you get all of that just for $70 a month. I think it's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a very, very good deal, and well worth. If you make one call that makes you $70 in a month, then it's like, okay, that was worth it. So to me, it's kind of a no-brainer. And I understand I have more in than a lot of people. So, but I don't know. For me, it just seems like a no-brainer. If you're actively trading in crypto and you have any amount of money in crypto, it totally makes sense to me to be part of a group like this and just learn what you can for long-term stuff and for short-term stuff. And again, just the NFT advice that I've gotten from Kryptonairz to me has been worth it. Of just people saying, "Hey, buy this NFT right now," and then I buy it, and they say, "Okay, sell it right now," and then I sell it, and then I made my month. Yep. Made money from it.
And you know what, James? It's nice to have a place where you can go and you can talk to people. We're building a phone app for your phone too. If you hate Discord like some people do, that's being built out. There's just so much that you can do in there and just speak with. We do 2 crypto chats a week on Tuesday and Thursday, and then I do a Sensei chat on Friday. So we're always talking about the news, what's going on. There's just a lot of value there for you. And if you come in and you don't like what we have to offer, we have 7-day, we'll refund you. No questions asked. But for the most part, people that do come in, they end up staying because they really do like the information that they're getting for a cheap price. And I'm always there. You can always message me and say, "Hey, Sensei," or "Rob," whatever it is. "Hey, question this, question that," and I'm going to be there to help you and do everything I can to help you grow.
Yeah, and one thing I've learned from you too that I've wanted to apply to my channel is I've been really inspired just by the education aspect of rather than just giving calls like, "Hey, this is going to do well, this is going to do well," but actually educating, like talking about XRP. And I see a lot of YouTubers who are like, it's going to 1000x, but not a lot like explain here's why it's going to 1000x. And so I appreciate that. And for people who think the prices are too high, again, I just don't think they are. That's just my take on it.
I'll give you an example. So the other, last week or 2 weeks ago, BioFi pumped like 300% or 400%. I put out there that this pump, it was coming. And so people got in, it pumped 300-400%. People took profit. I had a guy that was a new member, made like $700 off that, just that one trade or that one piece of information. And I'm constantly grinding this information and posting it in the community. I'm not supposed to post everything that I hear and everything that I get, but I do what I can to kind of get around that, because it is, it's my job to share everything that I learn and that things that I think that are going to be very big over the next couple of weeks. And that's all about just being open and honest. And I tell people what I'm invested in and what I'm not going to invest in. I'm very open. My people in my community have my wallet. Sometimes people track my wallet, whatever it is. But, it's always about being open and honest and just trying to help people. At the end of the day, if you can find value in our community and you can add value to our community, we'd love to have you.
Can I ask too, just to give some perspective for people, how many people do you have on staff?
So it's at least 25. So there's like several mods. We have 4 or 5 people on the NFT side. We have some people covering nodes still. There's not too much DAO activity, so we really don't not focus on DAOs. But we have crypto researchers. We do have the people that can read smart contracts. There's about 3 or 4 people that can audit and look at a smart contract. And then we have about 3 security professionals. Those are the people that really, former intelligence people from the United States, people that can find things that don't want to be found. And so with that whole team, that's how we've been able to keep our members, safe and secure from a ton. I mean, we've probably kept out minimum 100 rugs for the last maybe 6 months in crypto.
It's a lot. No, totally. So I hope that gives just perspective when you talk about pricing. Like it's not just charging, but there's a big staff behind that has to be paid. And it's not just like it all goes to Crypto Sensei's pocket. But
you know how much money I make monthly right now from Kryptonairz? 0.
Okay.
I don't make any money. It's all going to support my team. Right now we're in a bear market, so I'm doing everything I can to support my team. I make money on trading and the information I get. So really all of the money right now is going back to the team.
And then Tyson wants to know, how do they get the $70 a month on the website? How do they get that discount?
Great question. So you want to use James's referral link because, we like to take care of James. James refers some people. And then what you want to use is Summer 30, SUMMER 30. That'll get you 30% off for life. If there's an error where the code doesn't take, open a help ticket. We'll get it refunded. No problem. Sometimes it happens, but for the most part, Summer 30, and, stay with us as long as you want, but I really think you're going to find value for that $70. Like I said, all of the alpha that I put together goes in a Super Bowl because it's a little bit higher priced here. That's where you want to be if you want to trade. Now, if you're a very new beginner and you want a safe place to get educated, we have about 60 educational videos, and we have a team there that can help you with wallets, security, questions. Getting help in crypto is very hard. Telegram and other places are a good place to get help, especially there's a lot of scammers. So we actually help, a lot of 50 to 60-year-olds kind of get in. I'll even spend some time. Like I had a call last week with somebody that was very new to crypto. She was about 55, and I spent 40 minutes of my time just talking to her and trying to help her. That's the kind of community that we have, and I'm proud of what we built.
Yes, I like it a lot as well. And Kevin wants to know, how do we become employed by Kryptonairz?
Well, first part is becoming a member, right? Spending some time in the community, I speak to a ton of people daily, different people sending me stuff. That's probably the best way to start is being in the member, sharing information, getting noticed like that, or sharing information with me, you're talking with me. And then if you want to do research for us, or if you want to help with smart contracts, if you want to help on security team, we're always looking for solid individuals to come help us expand and grow our team.
Okay, very cool. We're going to definitely have you back because we have so many questions. But a couple more I do want to talk about. Can you talk about Strong and what you think, thoughts on that going forward? even if they're bad, we just want to
Yeah.
hear kind of your honest thoughts about it.
So I got a lot of people involved with Strong back in March of 2021, right? Price was like $40. And so for the people that I got in during that time, they made a lot of money, right? I was writing the cost off the nodes because I have a business. I was taking every node I was creating, I wrote off the cost of it. So I took a ton of profit during that time. I do think the way that Strong kind of, I don't think they did a great job about marketing, being open and honest. Going from, hey, we're going to launch a new protocol every month in 2022 to now saying, hey, we're not going to launch any protocols. Now we're going to launch Strong Chain. The way that they handled the freezing of not being able to claim everything, I don't think it was handled very well. I think there's a lot of sore people out there. A lot of people gave up their nodes. The price might come up, but how much trust is left there? I don't think there's a whole lot. I think it's going to be very hard for them to launch a chain, and anyone's going to really care after the way that they mishandled all of their people. But I wish David Moss and his team the best, but I don't think it was handled well. And I'm not going to be investing any money into Strong Chain or anything like that. I just, at this point, it's too much of a question mark, and there's too much bad blood in the streets.
Yes, I would concur. Up to a certain point, I kind of just thought, oh, they've taken care of investors. So even though the future is unclear, I know they'll take care of investors. But now it seems to me they are not taking care of investors. And so then again, I don't know what the future looks like, but my experience is they've not taken care of investors. So I don't expect that they will take care of investors in the future. But we don't know the future. I hope I'm wrong, because I have 30, 40, I'm up to 40 some strong nodes. At some point, it didn't make sense to sell. So I just kept compounding, and
they need to do a better job of communicating with their community. That's the first step. And if they can't do that one first step really well, you're not going to have a good second or third step. It really isn't. So it's up to them. The ball's in their court, but I wish, all the future investors, safe and good returns, but it's pretty rocky right now, and I'd be very careful.
Yes. All right. Well, as we close here, so I can go check out from my Airbnb, could you give me maybe, and you haven't prepared this necessarily, so maybe give me your top 5, and doesn't have to be in a particular order,
for this
but
month,
maybe like
maybe
like top 5 long-term plays of like, hey, here's what I think are going to be good going forward. And it doesn't have to be in order because you haven't, prepared this necessarily. But what do you think?
So if I'm talking about how I'm making money this month, I'm looking at Alpha Shares, I'm looking at Vapor, probably June, July. I'm looking BioFi. BioFi has a lot of big announcements next week. I'm hoping that pumps the price pretty hard. Good place to take profits. That's what I'm going to be looking for next week. For the long term, though, like DAG's on DAG's about to launch. Whether it's this month or next month, I do think once the mainnet launches, you're going to see people FOMOing hard in. So DAG is a long-term hold. XRP is a long-term hold. Look at a Project Lighthouse with IOTA. They have a lot of stuff going on. That's an ISO token. So I Quant, XRP, DAG, I'd even throw maybe XLM in there, but XRP, DAG, Quant are probably the top 3 for long-term holds. And if you're looking for short-term gains, I'd be looking at Alpha Shares, I'd be looking at Vapor, and I would be looking at BioFi. And there's a couple other ones probably that I'm not thinking of right now, but those are the ones I'm really laser focused on right now to make some really nice profit over the next couple of weeks.
Then are you dollar cost averaging in on those, or do you just buy some here or there when money?
So with BioFi, I've been anything I can buy like 0.005, 0.006, I think is a great deal. The market cap on BioFi is only a couple $1 million, so it's not going to take $100 million for you to double your money. I think with all this news coming out, and BioFi is working on a huge partnership right now. It'd bring $100 million into their ecosystem. If they can sign that partnership next week and announce it with all of this other stuff going on, BioFi pumped 300% 2 weeks ago with none of this. So I can only imagine what's going to happen if all this information is put out. I'm really looking forward to. So if it's pumping 300% a day, I'm taking profits and I'm buying back down on the dip. And then there's bags that I have that I don't sell for the future.
Okay, yeah. And if people aren't familiar, what I do is I love KuCoin's dollar cost averaging bots. And they have these bots that you can just turn on and say, hey, I want to buy $100 worth of DAG every day. And then as long as you have enough USDT, it'll just do it every day. You don't have to think about it. So I put my excess funds into my KuCoin and then just buy DAG. And using that strategy, I think I have like 400,000 DAG. Okay, I've just been doing that for a long time now. And so then it's fun. You go check your account. And you're like, oh wow, when did I get this much DAG? And so that's something that I do. But again, each person has a different strategy there.
Yeah.
So
guys, there's a lot of great project, right? EOS. I'm looking at the chat here. EOS is a great project. I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot of winners, guys. These are just the ones that I'm passionate about, close to my heart. These are the projects that I spend countless hours a day researching. And if you have not gone down the XRP rabbit hole, go down that rabbit hole, right? There's a lot of good people that put out a lot of good information on it. XRP is probably going to be one of the best appreciating assets here over the next couple of years in crypto, period, just because of their connections and all the banks and RippleNet. It's just truly going to be game changing. So yeah, Strong's dead, unfortunately. Yeah, but we are in a bear market right now. Once Bitcoin kind of starts coming back, ETH starts coming back, you know, we're going to see some altcoin season, hopefully in the fall or the winter. But right now, just kind of make your easy money on your easy trades. That's my recommendation.
All right, very cool. Well, hey, if you have more questions for Crypto Sensei, an easy way to ask them would be to go join Kryptonairz. You get a lot of access to them there. I'll definitely have Crypto Sensei back, and we talk every day, me and Crypto Sensei. So I've learned a lot from him. So appreciate you, man. And so I appreciate, first off, audience. Thank you guys for coming on. Please do hit the like button. Yeah, leave a comment. Do hit the like button on your way out. Even if you're watching this as a replay, hit the like button. Go check out Kryptonairz for sure. And then Crypto Sensei, thank you. Appreciate your time. Know you're a busy guy, so appreciate you hopping on here.
Thanks, guys. Hey, I appreciate you, and I hope everyone has a blessed day. Make some money. It's crypto, and have some fun, guys. You know, really, it's a great space. We're here. We know about it. We're early. You know, sky's the limit for all of you listening at home.
Yeah, and one thing I've taken comfort in too is just like with the bear market, I think things will be better. So like this is one of the lows that we've seen in crypto, and I'm still having fun. There's still stuff to do. There's still ways to make money, and so hopefully it's up from here. But I do miss the bull market. Those were the good old days.
Those were just like 2-3 months ago too. The good old days are gone, but they'll be back, guys. There's always dips in crypto. It's part of any market. And with regulation, you're going to get trillions coming into the space. You're so early, it's not funny. But anyway, another call, another day. James, It's always a pleasure, my friend. You're one of the best people that I know in crypto, and I really appreciate your time too today, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, audience. And yeah, everybody have a good rest of your day.
Appreciate you.